boy Segovia back with another one. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. That helps the channel grow. But with that being said, let's get into it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
If you've been sleeping under a rock, there's been 8 reported sightings of Bigfoot in the same county in Ohio, and all of them are quite credible, and this is very exciting.
Watch this.
I don't think we were supposed to watch television and take on all the problems of the world. I don't think the body's equipped for that. You know, there should be just a day the TV just goes off. Maybe a week the TV just goes off. What's so bad about that? In time, we're going to find out that all of the media is a misconception. Anytime you place your life outside of yourself, you're going to suffer grave consequences.
The people who don't have no social media platforms are at peace in life and are not plugged into the matrix.
So social media is the matrix?
It's the matrix.
So you tell me they regret making social media?
Yeah. The big thing. Go watch Social Dilemma, homie. They begged our government to put a limits on this. So what our government did was just took control of it.
And now they control everything, like the narratives,
everything. So homie,
this is interesting.
So listen, homie, if you decide that you don't want to get on social media anymore, if you don't delete the app, if you don't log out, if you don't deactivate it, they'll make you pick it back up because you long for the social interaction, right? You long for the notification, ding,
yeah,
ding. That's like a dog hearing a bell when it's time to eat. He gets excited. Nigga, your mind literally salivates when you get a notification. Don't let it be a girl you like. Nigga, they can make y'all meet up in real life. Literally.
Yeah.
But we have an overseer. And our overseer says, God damn it, Charleston hadn't been logging on social media in a while.
What, that happens?
Listen, hear me out. You gotta watch Social Dilemma.
Okay.
That girl you secretly have a crush on,
yeah,
that you watch at night, they know you watch her. They know how long you look at her pictures. They'll make her start looking at your social media platform. And they'll make her like something you post a long time ago.
Like
when you look and see she's like that notification, you're trying to stay off here. You'll log back on because they know you like her. At some point, they'll create, they can make
what the fuck?
Non-stop, all day. Alarms, announcements. You can't tell me this is normal. I've been working out here for 15, 20 years, right on this stretch of 41. I could hear this. They do a test Wednesday. Every once in a while, there's something random. This shit is not normal. Y'all get ready.
Are there actual vampires, like, in Hollywood? Like, everybody talks about that. Like, there are vampires.
There are vampires everywhere, not just in Hollywood. There's vampires. I grew up in Kansas.
Why do
There's
I feel
vampires
like
in
you're
Kansas.
joking?
I was. What did I?
You say he's full of shit?
Yes!
My parents showed me the loose change video about how 9/11 was an inside job when I was 11 years old. I'm now 30, and you could probably guess who I watch on a regular basis.
This right here is the trash they feed us. How is this even legal? It's not just Monster, by the way. It's all the energy drinks. It's Coke and Pepsi and every other product out there. It's the air, it's the water, it's in your food, it's the microplastic. I mean, it's just everything. But seeing what's actually in your food kind of does help offset the cravings from this filth that we put in our body. And by the way, these cravings are pyrazines that are being added to make these things addictive, just like fast food. It has chemicals in it that make you want to come back to it again, which work really best on children, which of course is why everything is aimed directly at children. And we already know the Monster can and the 666 and the upside down cross. I mean, if that was not enough, then you have things like liquid death and just, it goes on and on. It's just amazing that people are still drinking this trash. If you know the girl, please add her below. Let me know why you think they add this stuff to our food.
Well, they market it to young ones because they get them addicted young. And then when they're older, they don't got to market it to you no more. You're already addicted.
Yours sincerely, Debbie Coleman.
Here's somebody to help her who also has a problem with being shy. Gary Glitter.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Debbie. Happy birthday. The best part of the job.
If you wrote a letter to this guy in the 90s, like your lucky stars that he never wrote back,
Because in 2026, we know he wasn't just a host. He was something a lot more sinister. And look at his guest here, saying the best part of the job was having access to. They had a whole system, secret rooms, private corridors. The host made sure that his friends were taken care of. The Fix-It badge was the mark. Some claim that they were almost running a hunting ground on national TV. While we all sat at home and clapped, this was all in plain sight. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
This woman said what everyone has been thinking for a long time.
I am wondering if you are all pedophiles because you don't seem to care that children are being sexually abused. I mean, if somebody claimed that I was, I would say, I absolutely am not. But you guys love to let it stand as fact that that's what's going on because you're not willing to stop it. So, I mean, if you're willing to perpetuate it, what else could you be? If you're going to shake your head, then do something about it. No, Monica, you're not a then why aren't you doing anything about the child abuse that's happening in the county? If you cared, you would want to stop it. Jim, what if it happens to your grandchild? Would it matter then? Probably, right?
Next speaker, please.
Well, what do you think happened on 9/11?
What I know happened on 9/11 was we could have prevented it. And number two, what happened? I work very closely with the architects and engineers. You've had them on.
Yes.
I work closely with the families of 9/11. I work closely with the firefighters. The most poignant story, you ought to show it on a tape, is when Deputy Chief Oriole Palmer, one of the most decorated firefighters in the city, takes his unit to the first building. He climbs, he gets in an elevator. He's got all his equipment on, 40 pounds of gear with his team. They go up 40 floors in an elevator while the planes have already hit. He gets off the elevator and you hear him say in the microphone, we're on the 40th floor. Everything's okay. We're going to walk up. He gets on the 50th floor. It's okay. We're going up higher. He gets on the 60th floor. It's okay. We're going up. The Oriole Palmer, battalion chief, reaches the 78th floor. The floor of impact comes out of the stairwell, and you hear him say as clear as day, we're here. The floor of impact. We've got 2 fires, and we can handle it. And the building collapses in within 1 minute.
Get out of here.
No, that's true. Every American needs to listen to Oriole Palmer.
One of these days it's going to come out, but it ain't going to be for another 60 years when we're long gone, the ones that went through it, or we're too old to even make a fuss about it. It's going to be like my son that hears about it, that doesn't even, like, if he hears 9/11 was an inside job, just like the same thing we did with JFK, in one ear and out the other, right? That's when they're going to do another 60, 70 years. They'll come out and say, it was an inside job. If they did it now, it would be an uprising.
He eats junk food because he knows that when he eats fast food that it's not going to be poison. Like, he knows he can eat it and not worry about getting food poisoning.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, it does because it's filled with preservatives, so you're not going to get food poisoning from a Big Mac. When was the last time you heard about anybody getting food poisoning from a Big Mac? Never happens because nothing can grow on those things.
Gangs were created by the government. Gangs were created. Gangs in Chicago were breakfast programs. They were like programs to help the neighborhood. Yeah. But then J. Edgar Hoover said, we got to get these cats fighting. So they would even send decoys, fake black people to act like gangbangers.
They were real black people, y'all, but they just weren't gangbangers.
right. And they would just come in and go and start beefs with people.
Absolutely.
It would be like decoys.
Absolutely.
To come in to start trouble.
They did that a lot in the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So
within,
they created all that conflict. They were dropping.
So because implants. The biggest threat to American security is black progress. That is what J. Edgar Hoover said while he was dressed up like a woman wearing lipstick. And I heard he's half black.
I did hear some
words that his lineage is black.
I didn't know that.
Lineage is black.
I heard about that.
You have self-hating black people. You have President Trujillo from the Dominican Republic who wanted to get rid of Haitians, even though Haitians freed the Hispaniola island, and he would powder his skin because he was half Haitian, powder his skin and wear a Hitler mustache.
I came up here because I was like, why are all these parking spots empty? And then I looked at this sign, up front plus parking. They want you to pay for something that's not covered in a mall. Pay to park in the front when there's free parking right over there. And there's also free parking right over here. We are living in hell.
Today is Valentine's Day, 2026. I'm pretty sure freshly poured concrete ain't supposed to look like that. For this bridge that's costing damn near $1 billion, why is it that the foundational block is already breaking apart and cracking? Share this, guys.
The World Health Organization called Elon out on Twitter. This is like years ago. And they're like, Elon Musk has enough money to solve world hunger. And he retweeted it. And it was like, if you can give me a written plan of how me giving you $10 billion will solve world hunger, I'll do it.
And they had no response.
Like, you can't do it. I know this is crazy, but people that don't want to grow food or live places where food grows, there's nothing you can do.
So this is why our city's budget is messed up, because we have an electric Mustang as parking enforcement, a $50,000 vehicle for parking enforcement.
You don't think that they can make a tire that doesn't wear? He told me the story about how all the big tire companies bought the patent for a tire that can't wear. It has the same give and composition as rubber. I just thought he was fucking crazy. Now I believe that that's probably true. You're telling me we could put a man on the moon and hear conversations behind the walls of the Kremlin, but we can't make a fucking tire that doesn't wear?
All fishermen smoke and they consume massive amounts of caffeine. And on other boats, they consume massive amounts of stimulants too. That's like a little dirty secret. If you watch The Deadliest Catch, all those dudes are high. But I flop down on a seat. Dave flops down on a seat. I'm about to smoke a cigarette. And it's nice. It's really nice out. You can see the whole sea. The sun's coming up. It's beautiful. You hear the seagulls chirping. We're probably 50 miles out. And I just hear, wah, wah, wah. It's the emergency alarm going off, right? I'm like, what the heck? And I turn around like this. And the second I turn around, I just see this gigantic mountain of bright jade green. It looked bright jade green. It was backlit by the sun. Mountain of water come in. And I had a split second to go, and it just crashed into me. Smash! I go into the washing machine, literally. I'm being flown around in this thing, and I just do what I was trained to do, which is you go in as wide a starfish position as you can to make some kind of contact with anything, right? And I'm in this washing machine being thrown around and crushed. I can feel the physical sensation of being crushed by the weight of water. Like, this wasn't like when you wade into the ocean and a big wave hits you. This is like standing on your floor right now and a giant mountain, like
ice cold
20-foot wave comes in and just crushes you. And this went on for a couple seconds, and then I come to and I'm flat out on the deck, starfished like this. And I look over and Dave is in the same position. And I finally hear all the servos and the whole boat stops running. Like, you're always hearing the sound of machinery. The boat gets extremely quiet and the whole crew comes running out. And to their credit, they did the exact right thing. They picked us up and they dragged us into the breezeway and they immediately start tearing all our clothes off. Because you got your wets, your sweats, your underwear, everything. Strip us completely naked and we're bundled up in like wool blankets. They totally wrapped us up like burritos in wool blankets, and they pulled us into the kitchen where the heaters were on. Just sitting there shaking, and they're like, "Are you okay? You okay?" And it took me a few seconds to come to and kind of, I was like, "Yeah, like I'm all right."
This is why Cameron Robbins did not swim towards the buoy that could have saved him.
Jump up!
Cameron Robbins was an 18-year-old high school graduate. He was spending his graduation trip on a cruise to the Bahamas, and on a dare he decided he was going to jump off of the ship.
Crazy.
He was taking this cruise with a bunch of his friends. Coast Guard spent several days looking for him and eventually suspended their efforts. Right when he went overboard, the crew did what they were supposed to do. They executed the man overboard protocol. Like, they did all of the safety procedures that they were supposed to do to get him back, but they were unsuccessful. And what is so scary about this entire situation, to me at least, I mean, I can't imagine being him or like anyone associated with him. Like, this is so tragic and so terrifying. I can't even imagine. But in the water, in the video, it really looks like there's a shark nearby. And they couldn't find him. And the boat was docked when this was all going on. I think the sharks got to him. You can see in this video, he's swimming away from the life preserver that was thrown to him. You see that thing that was circled in the water?
Is he still missing?
And they keep yelling, grab the buoy, grab the buoy. Why wasn't he grabbing the buoy? Why was he swimming away from it?
Okay, so we are 3 months into 2026, and these are all the things that I'm already starting to believe. 1, the earth is definitely flat. 2, lizard people are real, and I'm pretty sure that they're also kind of demons, and I think that they're running the whole world, and they have been since the beginning. I think alien invasions have already been happening. There's no way that we landed on the moon. I don't even think we've been in space. This was a weird rabbit hole. Pigs might actually be fallen angels because they have human eyeballs and they can't look at heaven. I don't know about that one, but I'm just putting it all on the table. Project Blue Beam. That was also a pretty interesting rabbit hole. Everything in our history books was probably a lie, and the whole world was probably going to end.
My local park is made with sacred geometry. and happens to be built right under an energy vortex. How crazy, right? Are yours? Ooh. Damn, here's some light codes for you guys. I guess I get them from the lamps, too. Nobody wants to drive down my street tonight. That's crazy work. But yeah, be careful when you take your kids to the park. They're literally harvesting your energy here.
Now you can't take your kids to the park. When does it end?
I come here to do rituals.
Oh, maybe you
There's
shouldn't
my
take them to
cat.
the park.
My local stray. Take her. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow.
The word of the day, coincidence. Silverstein Properties has secured a full lease with Wilson Elser at the U.S. Bank Tower in Los Angeles. And let's see the tightrope I can walk with this video, that way nothing happens. But Silverstein Properties, a leading real estate development and management firm, announced a lease agreement with the U.S. Bank Tower, its premier 72-story office tower in downtown Los Angeles. This was the same Silverstein Properties that finalized a 99-year lease for the World Trade Center 6 weeks before that day. And the sickening name of Lucky Larry actually won $4.6 billion in payments, and he was paid this because of an insurance claim of what happened that day. You know, let's start thinking about a few things. What did the FBI announce recently and then try to backtrack it? And where was the location they said that might happen? And didn't 4 things come up missing from a certain place in the United States? You know, somewhere where security is supposed to be super high? And you can connect those things however you want to. You know that whole do your own research? Why don't you do that now? Because I'm not saying anything. I'm just giving you information that's already all over the internet. These are huge headlines that are everywhere. But back to the word of the day. This is all just a coincidence.
I just watched a 3D representation of what happens inside a woman's body when she's on her period, and I just want to say,
jeez,
I apologize. That looks pretty rough. It looks pretty brutal. You know, I'm not gonna lie. This isn't one of those pick me TikToks. My girlfriend made me watch it, and yeah, I'm not. I do
This
feel
is
kinda
why.
bad now. I think I speak for most men whenever I say we have a very vague image in our head of what goes on whenever that happens. You know, just like bleeding, and that's really all we think about. I did not realize.
They say in ancient times, they say they play those bells to keep demons away.
Right.
And you know, all of the Catholic churches used to always ring those bells at a certain time every day. They don't do that no more.
Yeah, they
That's
actually.
a good point.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they actually said they destroyed all the bells because people used to go to church to get healed because they played healing frequencies.
For sure.
And they got rid of them because they didn't want people to understand how frequencies can heal.
I told you about that 783 frequency. I go to sleep to that. Y'all definitely check that out. That's the
783
heartbeat of
frequency?
Yeah, that's the heartbeat of the earth. That's what the earth's surface, under the earth's surface. It's what the earth's surface. Yeah, the human. I forgot what it's called.
Well, this is why the
Resonance,
CIA uses frequencies. They use hemisync with the gateway process.
So this is the Appalachia school kid that SHOT up the school. This is how he carried his pew into school. And you can tell it's heavy. No, he got on the bus with it. Nobody asked him. He said that teachers would ask him, students would ask him, hey, what is that? He would say, oh, it's for a project. And he proceeded to unalive 4 people, 2 kids and 2 teachers. Look at how heavy this is. He just walks it into school. No questions asked. Here he is, getting on the bus with an AR. He's got a hat covering the top of it. And just goes right to school. He travels on the school bus for 12 minutes. Now this is, here he is, this is a weapon that his father purchased for him for Christmas. Walking right into the school with it. See how heavy this is? How awkward this is, how bulky this is. Let's not ask no questions. Now, I've heard teachers say that they're not allowed to check the kids' backpacks or go through their personal belongings because it's an invasion of privacy. Well, he had his privacy right up until he unalived 4 people with a weapon that his father gave him for Christmas.
They were at the mall when one of the mannequins caught their attention because while shopping, something about the display felt off. So they look closer, and that's when they notice the paint peeling away. But underneath it, it didn't look like plastic or rubber. According to her, it looked disturbingly real, like human skin. The video went completely viral, with many people online having dark thoughts about where those mannequins may have come from.
So we ordered this Murphy bed off of Wayfair, and some of the parts came wrapped in Pampers. So this is weird. Wayfair, an explanation?
Some numbers, but people know some of this. There's still over 2 million Americans who work at call centers right now, and we know AI is going to decimate that job. The big one, and Jamie Dimon referenced this just the other day, if you get to truck driving, then all bets are off, because this is the #1 job in 28 states. You're talking about millions of middle-aged men, for the most part, 10 to 15% of whom are military veterans. A lot of them are gun owners. So if you get to that occupation, then you're going to see, in my opinion, riots in the streets.
An old tape from 1996
Good.
shows something strange in the Himalayan valley. Look closer. Those figures are far too big to be human.
Trump? Forget about the presidency. First of all, I don't vote. I don't care about politics. Never have. Never registered. Have no opinion about anything. I have fans on both sides of all that, and I would never alienate them. And I just look at it like, you guys get caught up in that mess. You go sit in your voting line. They don't pay you. They don't pay you to go form an opinion about that guy or this guy. But yet you fall victim to all of it, right? Like, turn the news channel off. Go to Florida. This is why Florida exists. We have palm trees and pina coladas while you're sitting in your voting line, watching your news channel going, I don't like Trump. I don't like Biden. I don't like what's going on in my life. You're 50-something, right? Like me?
50.
So we've lived through dozens of presidents, man.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing ever changed. Why would you fall
Not a
victim to
damn
the
thing.
propaganda, to the opinion forming? They don't pay you a penny. Now let's look at the end of your life. You have a list. What did I spend all this time on?
Who did I vote
Let's
for?
calculate all of it together and put it in a circle graph, and then you'll see that the graph that you thought was an hour on TV here one night, 2 hours on TV, watching the news or the debate, or standing in a voting line, and then you'll go, how much did they pay me for any of that? Zero. How much money could I have made with all that time? A lot. How many pina coladas and beer and good times could have I been having instead of sitting in a voting line or having an opinion or a conversation just about Trump for 2 hours with my grandma or something?
Yeah.
Try me. Watch what I do. I've become an expert at changing opinions and different things and the whole topic. I'm just like, listen, you got to understand that you're falling victim. Don't be the sheep. If everyone jumps off the freaking cliff, are you going to jump off it too? Of course you're going to say no, but you're all being sheep. Wisdom is a thing that we all need, and Generation X knows it more than anybody on the planet. And I feel sorry for the kids growing up in this world today, playing Fortnite and shit. That's not reality. Let's get real, man. Reality is what you and I are doing right now. We're talking in person, public, and seeing each other, not through a computer screen. We are the last living generation that'll ever know what it's like to live without a computer. That'll never happen again. We are the last living ones.
That's true. No, everyone's growing up with computers now. Everyone's growing up with cell phones.
Cyber world is not real.
Little kids have
Okay,
iPhone
boomers.
watches now. It starts early.
Exactly my point, man.
Yes.
It's all basically set up for you to be a sheep. It's, you know what I call it? The carrot and the rabbit technique. They all, the people who are using it, whether they're Freemasons, politicians, whoever they are, news channels, everybody has a carrot and a freaking, and they're reeling them in. And they're reeling, come this way with my carrot. Am I right? And everybody, we're all rabbits. Don't be a rabbit.
Vanilla Ice, man. Number one, you're still on tour. You're still doing shows constantly.
Yeah.
You're still.
Now, I got a comment yesterday of somebody asking me, how do I go about starting a YouTube channel when I work a full-time job? My answer was, just start, right? Just start. You don't got to come out here and bang out. If my advice to you, if you're trying to get this started, don't come in here and bang out an hour and a half video. Just do 20, 30 minutes. That's it. Get in the algorithm. Get in and just know this is going to take years. It's going to take years. So don't waste hours when you're not getting paid or anything. 20, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes if that's all you got for one day. 10 minutes. And any question you have, your answer is right here on YouTube. You don't got to ask me, right? I didn't have nobody to ask. YouTube is a university. Anything you want about making a video, whether what camera, budget cameras, what do I use to edit, how do I use that software to edit, there is a in-depth video on your question and you'll get the answers, y'all. I've gotten so much knowledge from YouTube, y'all. This is why this channel has grown, because I listen to other people's advice on how to grow your channel. It's a secret. It's a process. It's not luck. It's not none of that. It is a process you do on YouTube. And if you follow that process, you can grow.
Millions of records.
But it takes years.
Still the oldest teenager in town.
Alcohol consumption is down to 54% of the society, which is a big deal.
Huge deal.
Everything is down. Beer is down. Wine is down. Seltzers are down. Spirits are down. Let me tell you what I think is happening. The coffee shops of the world are the training grounds for bars. You're 18, 19, 20 years old. You're in college. You go to your local Starbucks. You sit at a small table. You sip beverages together. You talk to people. It's a prerequisite for the socialization of a bar.
Yeah.
Look at the student unions in colleges. All of these things create that social connection. The pandemic killed that.
Agree.
Now I'm sitting home making drinks myself. We're drinking together on Zoom, right in our separate houses.
Yeah.
I'm now doing DoorDash. I'm now eating my edibles. I'm now smoking my joints. So this generation is much more comfortable at home than some of them are in bars. Social interaction is so important to us as a species.
Yeah.
So when I think about that, these people are home sitting on a couch, eating their edibles, smoking their joint, on their computer screen, rather than in a bar interacting with people, having fun. That does. It sucks.
If you look at this world, what do you think is run by?
Money.
And
Sex.
and
Power.
dark energy.
Yep.
We're on a dark energy globe. I don't even know. It might be flat. And here's what I just noticed this Christmas. There was like 7 movies, and all of them had some sort of snake on the poster.
Which
Really?
movies? Well, there's Anaconda.
Yup. Wicked. Zootopia. The Cool Guys. Another cartoon. This is going to sound crazy to a lot of people, but if you know anything about Satanism, just look at Satanism as you would look at the rules of OSHA when you work at a Chili's.
Wow, OSHA.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
years.
here's what you got to do. Wash your
OSHA.
hands, all
Yeah,
this stuff.
yeah.
Satanism has their tenements.
Mhm.
And so if you, and one of the things is you must put out what you're going to do. And
So declare it.
you have to declare it to activate it. It's like lighting the match.
Yeah.
So it starts the fuse.
Yeah.
And if you look, I believe that we live in a dark world, and I see this shit more and more. I'm just driving, and I was like, why does every poster? Now, people are going to call me crazy and all this stuff. That's my 2 cents, which you said the Epstein files. It's dark, right? It's high level. There's no way anyone at the top levels are there just by merit. I firmly believe that.
So you think there is some like occult type shit at play?
Bro, we've talked about this.
I know.
Come on.
I mean,
this is how if you run the world, if 20 guys run the world and you want to control everybody's mind, don't you get puppets?
Mm-hmm.
Kobe. Love my Lakers. Kobe's thing was, the sheriff's department got sued for basically videotaping a picture, taking pictures of the aftermath. My team was involved in the dipshits who were sharing it. It came to be known that some people had taken pictures of the scene and they were sharing it amongst each other. Like, hey, dude, check out this picture or this video or whatever it was. And we had to go track down who the idiots were. And then as we did our investigation, I mean, fire guys were doing it, contractors, everybody was doing it. But who has the deep pockets? Yeah, well, they paid. I mean, it's stupid. You told them never do that shit, right? And I teach the shit. You don't use your phone for anything on a scene. You can get subpoenaed or taken the evidence, and now that phone's theirs. We teach this shit all the time. My phone is locked down. I'm taking pictures of dead bodies, and who the hell does that shit? But they do.
Guys, this is very important, and this is not a drill. I literally interrupting my gaming to tell you this, okay? The U.S. Department of Labor is taking over K-12 education. I'm not shitting you. It is on their website. They are moving K-12 from the Department of Education to the Department of Labor. Here's your evidence.
Man, now they got schools that are K through 12, y'all, in one school, kindergarten through senior year, 12th grade. When I went to school, it was kindergarten at one school. Next year was first and second grade at one school. The following was third and fourth grade at one school, then fifth and sixth at one school, and then seventh and eighth middle school, and then high school. Like I went to like all these different schools. Now it's like they're all combined K through 12. It's crazy.
That's what happens when you drop a rare earth magnet inside a copper pipe. I'm going to drop it next to it. Gravity follows at the speed of gravity. I drop it in, and it takes a while. Get my camera lady to come over, and we'll drop it. It looks like it's falling through oil.
There's a lot of people out now on the charts right now, or being really successful, selling out arenas, that can barely sing happy birthday. So my question is, what's the difference between somebody who could barely sing happy birthday, which is all over the charts right now, to someone who can't sing happy birthday at all, who's just a marketer and a really clever guy or girl that sat in their mirror and did all the moves that everybody does? You know, they watched Madonna and like everybody else and say, I could do that. I can act like that. So I don't understand the difference.
Did you know that a drug dealer and the user is the same? Mm-hmm. They have the same options. They brain is on the same vibration. Right. They're the same. That's why later on in life, that person that you see was selling drugs, he now become a user. Right. So it's no difference between the person selling drugs and using drugs. They're absolutely the same. Right. It's crazy how that works, huh? They're the same. You don't believe it, but they're the same.
Wrap my mind around that.
Wrap your mind around it that they're the same because they think the same thing. That's what I mean. Right. They get their thoughts from the same frequency.
The same entity.
Yeah, the same entity. Right. Meaning that they can have the same idea. Right. They think the same shit. They both think about the dope. Right. I don't think you get it, gang. See, people spend too much time trying to judge people when you just like the person you're trying to judge.
Mm-hmm.
A dope fiend and a drug dealer are both addicted.
To two different.
Now that's what I say about the people on the far left and the people on the far right. Right? They have so much. They are the same type of people. It's just their beliefs are just opposite. But deep down, they got the same hatred for each other without even realizing it. And the puppet master's just sitting there in the middle, feeding to their side, and the other one's feeding to their side, saying, we're going to do this. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of immigration. We're going to do all these things. And they're just catering to what their people say. And they don't realize you guys are the same. They're the same.
Dope dealer ain't got the drug, he go crazy.
Right.
If the crackhead or the drug addict ain't got the drug, they go crazy. Everybody is addicted to the drug, nigga.
Have you been able to see that yet? Have you?
No, I want to though. I really want to.
It's amazing. The thing that blew my mind happened after the movie was over. One row ahead of us and 4 seats over to the right. So one row ahead, 4 seats over to the right was a family of 4 that were they were Latina or Latinos, and my wife is Latina, and she started chatting with them. Hey, how did you like it? You know, and they started speaking in Spanish, and they said it was amazing. It was just, you know, the translation, everything was perfect and all that. And she's like, what are you talking about? They watched the whole thing in Spanish, and we couldn't even tell, because every single seat has a focused
Damn.
in the ceiling. And when they bought their ticket, they wanted to hear it in Spanish, and they were able to listen to the whole thing. And nobody around them could hear it because each speaker is hitting individual seats. That blew my mind.
That's getting out of hand.
Unbelievable. Really?
So you could literally be sitting there, and the person in front of you could be listening to it in a different language, and you wouldn't even know.
That's insane.
That, I went, yeah, that's that right there. The visuals, gorgeous. That blows my mind. It's called holophonic acoustic transmission.
So your eyeball's amazing. You know, at the back of your eye, there are 137 million light-sensitive cells in 1 square inch, called your retina. All of them wired straight to the brain. How would you like to hook up 137 million electrical connections in 1 square inch? You know, your eyeball's amazing. It would take a minimum of 100 years of Cray computer time to simulate what takes place in your eye many times every second. Eyeballs are amazing. But this textbook says, the complex structure of the human eye may be the product of millions of years of evolution. Why doesn't God get the glory for what he did? If painting is proof there was a painter, even if you never see the guy. A building is proof there was a builder, and a watch is proof there was a watchmaker, and design, the creation, is proof there was a creator. See, design simply demands a designer, period. The invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen. They are without excuse, the Bible says. There's no excuse. The psalmist said, when I consider the heavens. You know, God knows that the study of science will draw us to him. Satan knows that too. So Satan has worked really hard in the field of science to make sure it pushes kids away from God.
Yep, all by design. I'm quite certain all by design. Folks, if you still wonder if there's a creator, all you have to do is look around and listen to what this man's saying. When you see a car, do you think that accidentally grew? It evolved out of a piece of metal? You know, when you look at all the different species, and coincidentally, they're all miraculous. Human beings are miraculous. The eyeball is miraculous. The ear, the fact that there's 3 bones in the ear and there's crystals within that ear that will mess up your equilibrium. There's things that are just so precise. You have to understand that was not an accident. That didn't just happen over time. That happened because someone designed it, created it, I believe. Matter of fact, I wear my belief.
What's that? Oh, a study was done to figure out exactly what happens if you hang from a bar for 2 minutes a day, and the findings are insane. Tell me more! Yeah, the study was done to figure out exactly what happens when you hang from a bar for 2 minutes a day, and obviously the first thing that happens is your spine decompresses, which obviously helps avoid injury. Because we're sitting all day and hunched over and looking at computers and whatnot on our phones, our spines are constantly being compressed, and when we hang from that bar, it decompresses, which actually also allows for the spine to get hydrated. Yes, the spine does need to be hydrated, and this also helps avoid injury when lifting. They also figured out that this does correct your posture. It makes your back stronger, spine stronger, and increases your overall grip strength by 40%. They found out that people that did this, their body reorganized itself while they're hanging from the bar. The gravity helped do this, and this actually helped them live a much longer life. Oh, goody.
Recycling is the biggest crock of fucking shit I have ever seen in my entire life. You know what recycles? The Earth recycles. Earth has been recycling every single thing on it since the day it started. It's going to recycle you and everything you've ever known and loved. Every single tin can and garbage bag is going to get recycled into the planet. And they're like, yeah, but if you put it in this can, it goes to a special place. Yeah, that place is called a place where the local town government makes money off of your shit. They didn't start recycling because they really cared. They were like, oh, all this metal can be turned into scrap metal and we could sell it and we can get all these morons to do our sorting
Yeah, they separate it for us.
Stupid houses.
Guys, where are we? They separate it for us, and if you put anything wrong in here, we won't pick it up no more. So make sure you do it. If you don't do it right, we ain't going to pick it up. If you make one mistake and we find out, we're not going to pick it up. So sort good. This is for the better cause of the world.
By Pokemon Go? Well, turns out the company that owns Pokemon Go, Niantic, are now using all of those images that people took while playing the game to create a whole different product. A hyper-detailed map of the world. You see, over the past 10 years, approximately 30 billion images were taken of public spaces, buildings, streets by the hundreds of millions of people who played this game around the world. And that's a lot of valuable data. I mean, Google had to spend billions to create Street View on maps, but we did that shit for free, and we didn't even know we were working. Now, Niantic have taken all of those images and teamed up with another company called Coco Robotics, and they are aiming to create a delivery service where their robots will use all of these pictures to create a really accurate picture of the cities across the United States and Europe, and then deliver shit to you. So the question is, were we used, or is this just fair game?
I mean, it's
Government
genius,
told everyone,
right?
This is secret. Not
Can't
talking
hate
about
it.
this. In 1991, in Siberia, these men found this giant hole in the ground. What it really is some type of what they call a mega slump. The weird thing is that this giant crater in the ground growing 35 million cubic feet each year. This group of men, they find it, they dig down, they drill a hole, and it's 9 miles deep. At a certain point, when they're drilling, it gets incredibly hot. Their temperature gauge, 2,000 degrees. And then they drop a heat-resistant microphone looking for seismic. What they say it sounds like. They went through sound after sound after sound, creating other things, because they literally, what they heard, what sounded like thousands upon millions of just people chattering or screaming or yelling. The guy said, his quote was, "We have found hell itself."
We are getting a live look of what the future is going to be like in Corpus Christi, Texas. If you haven't seen the national news, Corpus Christi is completely collapsing as you could call it a town or a city, whatever you want to call it. It's collapsing because they're running out of water. Now we know exactly what the game plan is for the government when that happens. Nothing. They're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. What's going to happen is everyone that can afford to flee will move and they will escape. And everyone who can't afford it, they've basically just announced that they're just going to abandon shit. They're just going to abandon the city. If you live in Corpus Christi and you can't afford to leave, that means you're going to die from lack of water, because water's not going to keep coming in. Now I'll let you guys do your own research on where the water went. But what I will say is this is not going to be the last city that this happens to. This is essentially going to happen to everywhere slowly. Like cities will just start closing because they can't get water access. And the rich will be able to keep fleeing to areas that have water up until the very end. And the people who can't afford to get out won't. This is just something to think about. I know that they're planning a bunch of data centers in Texas, and honestly a lot of like what's going on is kind of like, I don't know, it's just giving me a lot of perspective of like home ownership and like where you want to be when this happens, because whether you want to admit it or not, the data says that we are going to run out of drinking water because of these AI data centers, and it's not going to be in 10, 15 years. It's not. It's going to be in like 5. We're going to run out of drinking water in like 5 years. We've already lost 70% of life on Earth that's non-human. So like we've already destroyed 70% of animal life, and the world is just going to continue to become less and less inhabitable. As I talk about it all the time, and I know I'm the most annoying person ever, but like every single time you generate those AI images, you waste 13 gallons of our drinking water, guys. And we are running out. We are in a global water crisis. If we don't figure out how to, I'm not saying you have to stop using AI. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying we have to scale back. We have to. The rich aren't worried because they already have bunkers, guys. They have bunkers with years of supplies. It's going to be the rest of us that have to fight for the rest of whatever's left of the drinkable water that the AI data centers haven't ran through. And it's going to be us getting cancer from the dirty water that the AI data centers put out. Like it's us that's gonna have to deal with these problems. So we need to stop like being uncomfortable talking about it, because we're out of time. We're out of time, and we need to have hard conversations. I find it very annoying when I try to talk to people about this, because it's something that every single one of us is going to be dealing with in the next few years, and like people are just tuned out. They're like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Like, dude, what's your plan? Call your families, make a plan. What happens when we run out of water? Where are we going? Do we have a process of desalinization? Access to it, access to anything. Like, what do you have? Make plans now. It's so fucking for real, guys. It's coming. It's here. It's here.
Did you see the article today in People? Worm eggs found in man's brain after he complained of migraines, and undercooked bacon is to blame. You have to purify, parasite cleanse 3 to 4 times a year.
Just saying the Cheetos survived. So maybe we, nobody should eat Cheetos, because this is what the rest of the house looks like.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm fucking done eating Cheetos. Never eating that shit again.
Like I mentioned before, and I'll say it again. If you were raised in the 90s and the early 2000s, you had the best childhood. Congratulations.
Damn right.
I'm not going to argue that.
You had the best childhood. Congrats. We had the best cartoons, we had the best toys.
Yeah.
It was just an excellent time to be alive.
Look at all these rejected strawberries. Look how good they are. I mean, you open them up. Look. These are all rejected. All going to be thrown away. Can't give them away or nothing. Bullshit. Look at all these. There's like 20,000 strawberries. They won't let me give them away.
Nice away.
I mean, you know why they won't let you give it away, right? It's not because you have a chance of getting E. coli or you can get real sick and die if you eat these. So we don't want to give it away and hurt people. It's because they can't sell them. They can't make money off them because something they screwed up with. So the fact that they can't make money off them, they're going to trash them and burn them all, right? I see it all the time when I drive in back of, Ross and back of, Burlington and back of those type of stores. When they throw clothes away, They don't just leave them for people to take, like, here, donate them or anything. They cut holes in them. They pour soup on them. If there's a brand new white pair of sneakers, they get a Sharpie and write all over it. Cut them. That's how greedy these people are.
Spaceship that was coming to Earth in like a perfectly straight line, and everybody was swearing it was a mothership and aliens were coming, and or was like whatever happened with that, because it just disappeared, right? Like I don't know what happened. I'm pretty sure it was like back before Christmas time. Everybody was swearing that aliens were coming, and there was this space object hurtling towards Earth and like perfect trajectory, and we didn't know what it was. And where'd it go? What happened? I don't know.
Is the Earth 6,000 years old, or is it 60 million, or whatever the claim is? What do they claim it to be?
Well, it changes all the time. When I was a kid, it was 20 billion. Then it went to 18 billion. Now it's at 14.772 billion or something. 13.772.
And what are they using to like have this math? Like, where is the formula?
Probably using methamphetamines or something like that. It's so stupid. Just read the Bible. It's very clear. Jesus said the creation of Adam was the beginning. Matthew 19:4, Mark 10:6. Yes. The Bible says nothing died until Adam sinned. Romans 5, 1 Corinthians 15. And the Bible says Adam was 130 when his son was born. And then he lived 800 years after that. You can have that chart. I got a couple of them here. I left some for your use for placemats. You can get these on our website, drdino.com, D-R-D-I-N-O. Okay, then it says his son was 105 when his son was born. The dates are all given in Genesis 5. Then you go to chapter 11, which comes after the flood, and it gives a bunch more dates. You add up those dates, it takes it, and we know when Joseph was the vice pharaoh of Egypt. So we have pretty accurate historical records from Joseph on. If you add up the numbers in the Bible and the numbers in known history, the earth is about 6,000 years old.
But what about like the mountains and like the dust that are, or the trees that are saying, oh, this is a few million years old?
Well, I covered in my video number 1 of my series, which I'll give you. Joseph, that's in the suitcase too. Give me a whole center. Let me have that here. My seminar series is 18 hours long, because I cover all the things that were stopping points for me as a young Christian, raised in a family of engineers and teachers, and I love education.
So you came from your first thoughts coming into this earth was to think that it was millions.
I thought it was billions of years old. And I'm reading my Bible, and I came across what they call the gap theory. There's a gap between verse 1 and 2. Which is stupid, but that's what I believed for a while.
What's the gap theory?
Well, they say Genesis 1:1, God created heaven and the earth, and then you have a gap of billions of years, and then he had to remake it because it got destroyed when Satan fell from heaven. There's a couple different theories. Christians, in the 1800s, when they started teaching the earth is billions of years old, the Christians started panicking. How do we fit billions of years into the Bible? And so they invented the gap theory, the day age theory, the ruin restoration theory. All of them are pure heresy. So my video number 1.
So they bended God's word to fit the new laws.
Video number 1, which you can see all of them on our website, Dr. Dino, the age of the earth. 30 different scientific ways to prove this earth is not billions of years old. It cannot be for scientific reasons. Video number 2 is about the Garden of Eden. Why did they live to be 900? What happened? Video number 3, what about dinosaurs? If the earth is 6,000 years old, where do dinosaurs fit in? Video number 4 covers 40 or some lies in the textbooks. They're teaching kids things that they know are not true to get them to believe in evolution. Video number 5, the dangers of evolution. This theory is not only stupid, it's dangerous. We teach the kids they're an animal, and then we wonder, why are they acting like animals? Duh. I ask atheists all the time. I've had 389 debates now with atheists. I say, guys, if evolution is true, how do you tell right from wrong? They can't answer it. Where's the standard for right and wrong? I said, would it be wrong for you to go next door and, oh, yeah, well, the lion does it to the zebra every day. Hey, why don't you go to Africa and hold up a sign in front of the lion? Stop, we'll pay for the sign. Go. Okay? Where's the standard? If evolution is true, where's the standard for right and wrong? They don't have a thus saith the Lord like we do. But this, DVD number 5, I cover evolution is the foundation philosophy behind communism, Nazism, socialism, Adolf Hitler. Why did he kill the Jews? He thought he read Darwin's book, was strongly influenced by it, and other atheists of the day, and said, wow, I wonder who the superior race is. Read the title of Darwin's book, The Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection or the Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life. Hitler said, well, it's got to be the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Germans and Norwegians.
And it wasn't even looking like him.
Right.
Oh, my gosh.
And he said, who's the inferior races? Oh, I've got Hitler's list. I can call it up for you.
This is how marketing tricks you. Check this out.
You could rebrand anything to make it sound healthy, and to prove it, I'm going to rebrand Pepsi to sound healthy. I'm just going to rebrand regular Pepsi for this one, and I'm going to use the skinny can because I like the aesthetic of it a little bit more. Changing up the colors a little bit, I'm going to start with a solid black can. I'll put the Pepsi logo front and center because you have to. I got to find a unique angle to make this one sound healthy, so I'm going to go the hydration route because the main ingredient in Pepsi is carbonated water. So I'm going to call this Pepsi Hydrate Plus. The plus having no meaning at all, it just makes it sound better. I guess it could be like plus flavor, I guess. Pepsi does use natural flavors, so I'll add naturally flavored on there. And then I'm also going to add 100% plant-based because that's true too. Since the main ingredient is water, I'm going to emphasize that on the bottom, saying main ingredient always water. And instead of just being soda, I'm going to call this premium sparkling cola. At the top, I'll add smooth taste and clean energy. And then below that, a few more call outs. We'll go with fat-free, gluten-free, and low sodium. And the plain black can is cool, but we need to do a little bit more. I'm gonna add some blue elements to this to really accentuate the water, and I will put the Pepsi logo in a water drop. And just like that, telling no lies at all, we've got healthy, hydrating Pepsi. Drop me a comment, let me know what else you want to see me try to rebrand.
Oh, just because it sounds good doesn't mean it's good for you. Yeah. I'm curious, how have you been tricked by marketing in the past?
This message is for the parents who don't know what's going on.
in the classroom as it relates to kids not being able to interact with what their teachers are trying to engage them with. There is this thing that teachers are talking about that has to do with, let me just give you an example. Okay, so I'm standing in front of the classroom and I say, all right, guys, students, scholars, whatever it is the teacher calls your kids, take out your yellow notebooks, turn to page 14. And the kids just stare. Like they don't even move. Some of them don't even move. Some of them start moving around. It's like, I know I'm supposed to be doing something because she's still staring at me, but I don't know. And then they raise their hand and say, do you want us to take out our notebooks? That's a real question. Yes. Okay. So then some of the other students start taking out their notebooks while the others are still just staring. And then when they take out their notebooks, someone else says, what page? What page do you want us to turn to? Okay. Turn to page 17. So then some of them start taking out their notebooks and turning pages. By now, some of the ones who are still staring are now like trying to reach in to take their notebooks out and still looking around like, I don't know. I see other people doing stuff on their desk, so I'm going to do it too. And instructional time is lost just in a simple directive, because it's taking you 3 to 5 minutes to get everybody on the same page just to open their books. That's if you decide that you want to wait for them. You could just leave them and just let them struggle. That's on the teacher. Anyway, this is my theory. I really do think that since COVID, and this is information that's out there, a lot of teachers have reported this kind of behavior. My personal theory is that with the increased exposure to social media, digital entertainment, I think kids are just so used to consuming, they don't recognize when action is required on their parts. They're used to somebody looking directly at them and saying something like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm just going to get into blah, blah, blah. That's what they're used to. So it's like, hey guys, they're talking to an audience. They're not really talking to me. I'm just a consumer. I'm just watching. So it's not like when the YouTuber or whoever it is says, or the TikToker says, hey guys, welcome back. Or they just get on and they start talking. The kid is getting like a one-to-one direct eye contact from the person who's talking to them. But the kid also is not getting any kind of responsibility for engaging, because the person is not, when the person says, hey, welcome back to my channel, it's not like the kid is going to be like, hey girl, I'm back. What's going on? No, the kid knows that they're not going to say anything back when that person says, welcome back to my channel. And then they go into all of this information that they want to share, or this story or whatever. And so I think kids are used to engaging without engaging, with no responsibility at all. So when the teacher says, all right, guys, take out your workbooks, I think the brain is like, okay, I'm just watching another TikTok. They're talking to an audience because the kid is in the classroom filled with other kids. So there is an audience here. There's no action required on my part. So I'm just going to sit here and wait for the next thing that she's about to say. So even though my teacher said, take out your workbooks, they're about to go into something else that doesn't require me to do anything.
Now, the irony is the United States has a bunch of oil. The United States is the largest energy producer on the planet.
Yeah.
You know, people will be like, the United States is the Saudi Arabia of the planet. No, you just say the United States is the United States of the planet, because the United States has always been a top energy producer. Texas produces 30% of the United States' energy. So Texas by itself is one of the largest energy producers on the planet. Its GDP, by the way, is about the same as Saudi Arabia's, and its population is the same as Saudi Arabia. So it's about per capita the same GDP.
Wow.
You'd never know that if you were in Texas, because Texas is like a third world country.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. It provides no services to its public. It completely neglects its public. Its public schools are awful. It doesn't feel like a super wealthy state. And the reason is because the goal of the United States is to hoard the wealth in the hands of a handful of people.
Now, I saw a clip yesterday on why California's gas is so expensive. They have to get a specific blend for California. So that's why their gas is so expensive. Now, if that isn't a scam, I don't know what is.
First time I've been in a skin suit, I guess you would call it. I don't think I've ever revealed that before. This is a self-portrait. That planet was destroyed, and I was there to help. There's a whole story behind this, which probably don't need to get into. This is allegedly me and my galactic partner. And this entity in particular attempted to prod and poke and implant me and was extremely cruel.
I told y'all to watch a third parallel,
But first, it's going crazy literally everywhere. Do you know how the president said that Cuba would be next after Iran? That's so funny because completely unrelated, they are at a complete grid failure. Like no electricity anywhere, the whole entire freaking place. Of course, that's not related whatsoever. We have missiles being fired off literally everywhere, and we're going to get to a really suspect place in just 1 minute. Of course, it has to do with the 33rd parallel. I did say something about the 33rd parallel, but what was that, right? And now we have, you know, the leader over there dropped another video. This is the 4th video. Still have not heard from his son. He has not been in any meeting. All these crazy circumstances and coincidences around this whole thing. I can't really play the video for you because they copyrighted one on Facebook, but what I can tell you is he sounds like a robot for some reason, and also it's getting incrementally better. Did I not just tell you guys in the last video before that 4th video dropped that they were using the population to find all the mistakes in the AI to make it perfect, to get the branding, the microscopic synth ID out of each pixel so they could pass off something real? Something real that would not be real at all, but of course all the news agencies are saying the same exact thing. Short-term pain, long-term gain, whatever, right? To understand that, go watch my last video or this red play button video. And so back to this 33rd parallel. You know, last week I said, watch the 33rd parallel because there is some station claiming something was happening in California, which of course the 33rd parallel, of course the Trinity test site for the nuke was a 33rd parallel. Guess what? Baghdad is a 33rd parallel. They are alleging there's 10 casualties in Baghdad from a missile strike, not to mention hotels and even green zones are being fired upon. Again, in Baghdad, 33rd parallel. You want to know something funny? They always say I'm wrong, but when I'm right, they never come back and say I'm wrong. It's over and over again. It's just a never-ending perpetual disaster for them. But one thing is clear. Half the population still believing their TV screen, totally not a mockingbird, by the way, and it's no wonder that people have no idea what's going on. I said it last week in this video, I just said it today in this video, there is a great illusion that's here. What a day. Let me know what you think below.
You know, there's a lot of censorship going on right now with all this stuff happening over there, right? I just got a notification today that yesterday's video, I don't know why, but I kind of got a feeling about a certain individual I talked about that is no longer here at the end of the video is the reason they took ads. You know, I'm not getting paid for yesterday's video. I'll probably get like $10, right? So we'll keep it up. It's okay. I did a review. I requested a review, so maybe it'll turn green, but you just got to be very careful with what's going on over there, what you're posting. They're censoring a lot of stuff, y'all. It's annoying. It's sick. It makes me very angry because we're not speaking no falsehoods, right? It's the truth. Even things that are out on the news, you can't post over here. It's very annoying. I see other channels, you know, not like these type of channels, but like other channels, like, you know, say a Joe Rogan or a Candace Owens or a Tucker Carlson. They get away with it. They're allowed to speak on it. They're allowed to say certain words I'm not allowed to say. But they're the big dogs. They're in the big dog rooms. They're paid by the big dogs. So it's very annoying, but you know, we'll just keep pushing out this content to you guys, y'all.
Photo I sent you earlier. Well, that's a disc UFO landing on the Sphinx.
Right.
There are 3,000-year-old rock cave paintings, rock carvings, cave paintings of that same vehicle.
So it's on top of the Sphinx.
Landed on the Sphinx.
And this is
that's a 3,000-year-old manuscript from ancient Egypt.
That's wild.
Damn.
That's literally a UFO. Yeah, that's crazy. So okay.
And then we got this in our emojis.
Right.
That's not for everything in our emojis exists. There is no fairy tales in our emojis. Everything in the emojis represents something that's flesh and blood on Earth.
You know, speaking of emojis, real quick tangent. You know what I thought was weird too?
What's that?
So if you type in the emojis, if you go to calendar, so when you type in calendar, it goes to July 17th. I wonder why they picked that date. July 17th.
Interesting.
I don't know what that's.
What it symbolizes.
Yeah,
for.
because they put everything in there. Everything is intentional.
Everything is intentional, and that's something I learned working with you. Yeah, man, where there's smoke, there is fire, Jack. Like, it ain't, nothing really is a coincidence.
Look, Erica Kirk acting weird isn't exactly new at this point, but what is new, there's now also a clip that's not getting nearly enough attention of her on stage talking about Charlie Kirk and slipping in some very, very noticeable shade.
And now I have to be the sole provider for my children.
That was the phrase she chose, sole provider. And Owens went in. She said the comment discounts who Charlie was, and that laid out what Charlie actually left behind. And there were investments, real estate, trust set up for the kids, a work life insurance policy that she says paid out around $10 million. She pointed out that Erica has a private jet, drivers, full security detail, and that this woman does not open her own doors. And she's been standing in front of audiences describing herself as a sole provider.
You know, I guess time will tell. You know, let's say 15, 20 years from now, what those kids' life's like, right? Because he set all this up for them. He set it all up just in case. You know, you guys don't got to want for nothing. And we see that with music artists that die and their kids are broke now and, you know, they never got none of that money. Like, I guess time will tell. I guess time will tell.
He breathed. And here's the answer. He claims in the statement that there was a head dolphin, an alpha dolphin,
Gerald.
and this dolphin's name was Gerald. And Gerald was communicating to him through clicks and telekinesis, and also helping him breathe underwater. Gerald was helping him breathe underwater by a bubble-like system. Gerald sounds pretty cool. I bet you thought this story couldn't get any crazier. I've got your crazy. He claims he was down there for 3 days helping them build their underwater city. 3 days! And after those 3 days were up, he claims that they told him that they were satisfied with his work, so they took him back to the surface. But they told him, we'll be back. We'll be back for you for phase 2. I'm sure if you're still here watching the video, you're like, oh, he was most likely on or drunk. And that was what I thought. But when he got to the hospital and they ran all the tests, this is what's absolutely nuts.
You know, we got a deep dive. I'm beginning looking at my phone, y'all. I was supposed to have it at 7 a.m. It's 9:45 right now. You know, this guy's probably not going to get hired again. But you know, I'm hoping this deep dive comes out because we go in on Gerald. Gerald is a rogue CIA, NASA, you know, that they thought died, but a very deep dive. We're going in on this, y'all. We're not just talking about this Florida incident. We're going to the roots of Gerald, you know, the roots of all these crazy scientific NASA studies they were doing with dolphins, because if aliens come, they don't know how they're going to communicate with them. So they chose the dolphin because the dolphin they think can communicate. Like, it's just deep, y'all. A deep 15-minute deep dive. I'm waiting to get this video. I'm hoping that is going to be up on my second channel today. Link is in the bio. You know, go over there. We're going with the new path on the second channel, y'all, and I'm excited. I already got a second video ready to go. We're going to see how this video comes out with this guy. I'll probably give him maybe one more chance. I need that deadline by Thursday, though, before we sign the contract to do everything, right? I need a Thursday deadline by noon. But the next one's good, too, y'all. We're doing these deep dives. They're fun. I learn a lot. And, you know, I'm excited to share it with you. I hope it gets to come out today.
A floor walker at Walmart, and today I'm going to show you how they operate when it's raining outside. Floor walkers typically stay inside when it's raining, so they meet you at the door when you walk in. As soon as the cameraman seen me walking in, he sent a floor walker out to watch me, and they'll probably meet me at the basket area. Bingo, there she is in the pink. Notice how it's raining outside and she doesn't have a drop of water on her? She also has no jacket. But what really sealed the deal is she followed me everywhere in the store, even down into the Lego aisle. I know dang well that she don't want no Legos. Most people don't even notice their floor walker, but look at her. She's crawling up my back through the whole store
Something
now.
to pay attention to, right?
She's acting like my parole officer. But I'm a law-abiding citizen, so I shouldn't have to deal with this scrutiny. What would you do if you thought you were a valuable customer, but they treat you like you're a shoplifter? Why should I spend my money here when they think I'm a thief? For all she knows, I'm a doctor. Hit the like button for good luck today.
All right, family, there you have today's video, y'all. Like I said, Segovia After Dark, links down below. I'm hoping this video gets to come out today, y'all. I'm going to be very upset if this guy doesn't send it to me. He's going to get fired. He's had this video since Friday, Saturday, working on it. You know, this is my first time using that Upwork app. So I wasn't really thorough in, in what I wanted, right? This time I know, this time I know to send them clips, send them pictures, send them sources, and I know to say I need this by Thursday. I need it written down that it'll be done by Thursday at noon, right? So next one will come out better, but I'm anxious to get this video. Make sure you guys hit that. And also on my third channel, we're going to start doing what I was doing on my second channel, which is the TikTok reactions, the people moving over and abroad, credit card debt type of TikTok reactions. That's my third channel, Segovia's Vault. That link will be down below. Make sure you guys go down there and subscribe. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers, y'all. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. This is Segovia signing out of the new colored man cave. This is my favorite color scheme, y'all. The blue and the green. I don't know why I love it. My Govie lights outside are blue and green. I just love it. My backyard's blue and green. I love the color combination, so I thought I'd bring it over here. It looks pretty dope. I'm out of here, y'all. Later.